Dumelang Afsheni Ralocha Sanmanani Mulweni. My name is Naledi Mfoloe, and it is my absolute pleasure to welcome you to the latest edition of the African Diaspora News Channel, where we unravel the stories that shape our world and our community. Our story today takes us to Burkina Faso, a country that has been making strides towards economic independence and cultural pride. Now, in a bold move, the West African nation has decided to embrace its traditional locally made fabrics for school uniforms, celebrating the country's rich cultural heritage while actually fostering local industries and jobs. But that's not all. Burkina Faso is also taking a major step by actually seizing the importation of police and military uniforms. Yes. Instead, the country has invested in a local factory to meet all its uniform needs, creating jobs and supporting its economy. Now, as an African myself, when I see these kinds of moves, I feel a profound sense of pride, and not only in Burkina Faso taking back control over its resources, but also about sending a clear message. I mean, Africa doesn't need to depend on foreign imports for everything. We have the talent, the skills, and the resources to make our own way forward. And that's a message we need to carry out with us across the continent. I mean, in a world where African nations are often seen as relying on the West for products, services, and even expertise, Burkina Faso's decision to switch to locally produced school and military uniforms is a game changer. I mean, the government has backed the establishment of a factory that will actually cater to the uniform needs of both the citizens and security forces. And this factory, already up and running, will not only create jobs but also nurture the growth of local industries, which is an essential step in the broader vision of African self-sufficiency, if you think about it. I mean, for too long, many African countries, including my own, have been stuck in a cycle of dependence. We import goods from all over the world: clothing, food, technology. And while global trade is important, right? I think that there's something deeply empowering about producing and consuming our own products. I mean, we're talking about economic independence, yes, but we're also talking about the cultural empowerment, right? By choosing traditional fabrics, Burkina Faso is putting its culture at the forefront and teaching young people about the importance of their heritage and actually providing them with something to be proud of when they wear their own uniforms. And when you think about the impact of such a move, it's not just about uniforms. It's about fostering a sense of unity, of pride and identity among the people. And it's about walking the streets, right, and seeing children, police officers, and soldiers all wearing something that represents the nation, something that's made by the people for the people.
To this process in order to enhance the living conditions of the FDS. In any case, we will be proud to have the opportunity to enhance the living and working conditions of yourself and your families. That's why this cooperative was once again thought out, reflected upon. In addition to the cooperative, there will be another phase related to the economy of the armed forces. Because civilians also support this, they want to see you in good condition, they want to see you mentally liberated so that you can defend them. Otherwise, they would not contribute so that we can provide you with the necessary equipment. We want everyone to comprehend the extent of the cooperative, join, have the ability to explain it to their fellow members, and rapidly develop it so that we can make significant changes in a brief time frame. The factory we recently established in Bobo is in alignment with the same line of thinking. When we observe FDS walking around in faded uniforms, it is painful. And we have evaluated the amount of money we spend annually. Police, national or municipal police force, GSP, gendarmerie, customs, army personnel, law enforcement. The expenditure we allocate for the procurement of uniforms is of an immense magnitude that cannot be overstated. It's billions and jobs that we give outside. So we decided to put the factory on site to produce for everything that is held, to be able to dress well. So Comepex is just the first step. And there will be other steps that will follow gradually over time, building upon the progress made. Everyone is involved, with the Minister of Finance at the forefront, so that we can create something, a powerful tool that we will have a close look at, which should enable our various defense and security forces to live with dignity and to fight for the freedom of our homeland.
The decision comes as a relief to those involved in the textile industry and has restored the reputation of Faso Danfani, Burkina Faso's main traditional loincloth. Germaine Compaoré is the promoter of a textile vocational training center. She believes this measure will enhance the work of women weavers.
This decision is seen at its true value, so that we can restore more value to the Burkinabe cotton value chain. So we frankly welcome this government decision.
Germaine employs mainly women in her center. She, like many of her peers, have over the years...
Now, let's talk about the leadership that's driving this change. The president of Burkina Faso, who has taken this bold stand, must be recognized for not just thinking about the country's present, but also laying the groundwork for a prosperous and self-sufficient future. He has proven that true leadership is not about bowing to external forces or relying on foreign nations to define your country's future. Instead, it's about lifting your people and empowering them and putting in place, right, the systems and industries that will sustain them for years to come. And in my opinion, this president is actually one of the best in Africa right now, and his leadership deserves to be protected and celebrated. And what's equally impressive is the broader implications for job creation. Burkina Faso isn't just making uniforms. It's creating employment opportunities, especially for the young. I mean, unemployment, particularly among young people, is a huge issue across Africa. However, by establishing local factories, nations like Burkina Faso can not only reduce reliance on imports, but also create sustainable employment for their citizens. I mean, that's the kind of investment that helps to uplift communities, provide dignity, and actually strengthen the fabric of society. And can't help but think about the potential this model has for other African countries. I mean, we are a continent rich in resources, yet we've often allowed our wealth to be extracted for the benefit of others. And this is the kind of leadership we need more in Africa. Leaders who see the long-term value of developing local industries and who recognize that culture and heritage are not just about looking back, but about building forward. And I have nothing but respect for the leadership in Burkina Faso, and I believe that the example should inspire other African nations to take similar steps towards economic independence and cultural preservation. What are your thoughts in regards to this? Please, let's continue the conversation in the comments section. And while you're at it, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. That's it from me till we